One. And we're live. Are there any technical difficulties? Survey says no. Look at that. We are actually live now. Look at that. Great stuff. I just got to copy and paste the description for this and get it going. All right, go live. Cool. We're live on Facebook and Facebook alone, but started nothing.
For the second time.
Oh, yeah. Fun. You should run this. You should be a producer.
No, you're so good at
pretty
it.
Easy. Yeah, it's pretty easy.
No, you're really good at it.
I mean, all you do is complain about it.
But if I didn't complain, you wouldn't be able to improve it, right?
This is just a passion project. I'm just doing this for fun.
Next time, I think we'll be. We got to make a promise that next time we'll be better prepared, on time, live when we say we go live, and we're ready to go, right?
Of course. Absolutely. So, what you up to? What's new in the drone space? Luis Figueredo?
Not much since we spoke last. As far as like drones working, just a few call outs. I think I shared some that huge fire that we had like 2 weeks ago. And I think we're going to be uploading some of those models sometime this week, maybe next week. But that's it, pretty much. Just that. Did a few a few tactical and situational awareness classes last week. Got to talk about some of the videos, do like a deep dive into the response and what could have been done differently. So that's always exciting, putting those classes together and showing some of the material.
Nice. Professor Figueredo, who are you teaching?
Yeah, right. This was I did a presentation, drug training and investigation training.
Pretty sweet.
What about you?
Doing some tactical interior stuff. I'm also working on some interior stuff right now. Got some code ready. I've got my Avada. Did a few flights over the weekend of the interiors of areas, and we'll have a new interior build up and running. It's going to be super exciting.
You going to have some examples?
Oh, yeah. I'm actually processing something right now, so maybe in a minute or two, I'll show you something. What you drinking today for Drones After Dark? Alcohol optional for everybody.
Some water. Oh, carbonated, sparkling.
I got sparkling water.
What flavor is that? Is that strawberry?
Grapefruit. It's no pamplemousse, but still pretty good. I just finished my drink. I have no more for the rest of the pod.
That's it. You're done.
I'm done. Just gonna be a parched pod. But yeah, so we're doing more interior stuff for everyone listening. I've been doing more social media posts as well. It's mostly just showing off some of the stuff that we've been building, because a lot of the time we're building a lot of cool stuff, but nobody posts about it. So just showing everybody more sneak peeks of it.
You've been very active on social media lately, more than before.
Yeah, it's working out pretty well. It's not like anything else has changed on the tech side. Still building just as quickly as in the past. I'm just posting more of the stuff that we're building. I think we got like 25,000 impressions over the past week or so just from my posts. So getting up there. We'll be good.
That's good. We're always looking forward to all the Skybrowse updates, right? It seems like there's so many that come out all the time, and now with this whole Avada interior mapping thing, it's going to be pretty cool to see. Which will show us the model pretty soon, right?
It's ready right now, so pop it up and see what it looks like. This was a model we did in California, and this was done by a student, LA County District Attorney's Office. Let's see.
New customer, right?
Yes, new customer of ours. They started their drone program in 2021, and then like smack dab COVID, and then just stalled immediately. But then after a while, they finally got it up and running. So they're mostly using it for not for criminal investigations or anything, more for kicking down doors. So a lot of Avada flyers, tactical Overwatch, that kind of stuff. So interior mapping is a big one for them.
Nice.
Yeah. So just like to get it tested out. Still in a testing build, so it's not fully ready yet. I don't think the figure eight is working out pretty well. So it's going to be more of a circle. Because in the past, our old algorithm trained on the figure eight. So you would do a figure eight inside of a room to get all the corners and all the sides. But I think it's a lot better with just a circle. And it's a lot easier to use as well with just a circle.
So now you fly into a room, do a circle, and that's it. Upload, and you got the model.
Yeah. It takes about, 30, 40 seconds or so to capture all that data. And I did quite a few on my in my apartment as well. So it looks
And then
pretty solid.
the model's fairly quick too, right?
Yeah.
To have it,
About so far the estimation is about 1 minute per 2 rooms, so 30 seconds a room to process. So if you're doing a floor plan of, say, like 1 floor with 4 rooms, then it would take about 2 minutes to process.
2 minutes, right?
So
that's
pretty quick. That's the goal. Combine that with our tactical upgrade, where it compresses your video file down to something real small, so you don't have to upload like 2 gigabyte video files. It'll be like, the size of a picture or two on your phone. Then you get your 3D model back even quicker. So all the tech that we've been working on in the past is kind of coming together, getting married together into this nice package.
Nice. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, test it out. Get some floor plans of your house. We'll share it all over social media. That'll be the opening for Drones After Dark.
No,
it's just your house.
I'm gonna do some. No, definitely do some tactical stuff with it.
Yeah. Avadas are awesome, but we're not here to talk about Avadas or interior mapping. We have the one and only Mr. AUVSI, president of the Lone Star chapter, Adrian Doko. Oh no, technical problems.
He's gone. He's gone.
He's got Riverside open on another tab. No. More technical difficulties.
Oh, there he goes. He's back. What's
up, guys? How's it going?
What's up, Adrian?
How you
Sorry
doing?
about that.
It's all good.
Pretty good. How's it going?
Going good.
Great,
hey, we told
you guys hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, we hear you good. We told the audience we're gonna be doing a cooking class for us today.
Yeah, we're gonna make fresh pasta from scratch.
Ooh, that's exciting.
What's going on, gentlemen? How you been?
Good, man. We haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of traveling. I was overseas last month. Just got back from Vegas this week, and it's been busy.
Nice.
Wow, hectic. Were you at CES?
No, I just got there after CES wrapped up, working on some drone delivery stuff out in Vegas.
Very cool.
Yeah, Dallas has been killing it in the delivery space right now. We got 6 different providers. I know Wing's got about 7 nests. I've been doing a lot of hustling at city council meetings and trying to educate council members why this is a great benefit to communities. It's just been wild. But they've been really scaling and they've been growing exponentially. So look out for a lot of drone deliveries in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
nice.
And speaking of drone deliveries, what do you guys think about the flight cart that was recently announced, right?
That was amazing. That was, man, China's kicking our ass in a lot of things, and that's one of them. They already have working models. I know EHang's been dominating, not here in America, but Europe, Middle East, South America. So yeah, there's going to be some pretty cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, the regulations are so much more lax in China. It's crazy how they're somehow more progressive than us over here. It's so much harder just to get the regulations and everything out of the way. I think it's just the FAA that's like really slow and just set in their old ways.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, even Europe, not as much the European Union, but you go to Eastern Europe and other European countries, they've adapted a lot of the stuff that we've been too scared to bring on. So it's definitely an interesting time in the drone space.
Wow. So, you have any deliveries? Have you received any drone deliveries yet?
I have. So I've spoken with the mayor of Louisville. We have our own Walmart Nest here. And for those that aren't aware, Drone Up just got their clock cleaned by Wing and Zipline. So Wing and Zipline are also partnering with Walmart,
Wow.
and they're really amping up their delivery. So it's kind of still growing as we speak, right? There's a lot of variables. So if you live in a really wooded neighborhood, meaning a lot of trees, or if you live in a specific airspace, controlled airspace, it's going to be a little more difficult. But I mean, we're within that DFW airport, 5 mile range, and we've seen a lot of drone deliveries happening here in Louisville, and people are just, in the beginning, they were reluctant. They're like, oh, it's going to pollute the sky. Now everyone is on their Instagram showing, oh, look at me. I got some ice cream delivered by drone. How cool is this? My grandma's medication just came in through drone. She don't have to leave the house anymore to get her over-the-counter meds. So I think drone delivery is really, a lot of people were knocking it, myself included. I was like, I don't know how these guys are going to make money, but I don't think it's about the money. I think they proved their case using the data sets in the beginning, and then the money will follow. So it's really interesting to see what Wing and Zipline are doing. And even Drone Up, they have some catching up to do, but it's going to be exciting in the drone delivery space.
So that Walmart, what are they? They're controlling like a certain radius from their facility, and they're able to do the deliveries.
Yeah, it's about a 3 mile radius. They have a nest, so essentially they've gated a part of the parking lot, and they create what they call nests. So there's about, I don't know, about 20 different drones there. The Wing, I forgot what the technical term for their platform is, but essentially you go to the Walmart app and place the order, and within 5 to 10 minutes you get your product, as long as it's in something below the 5 pound weight threshold. But I mean, how cool is that to get miscellaneous stuff just dropped in your front porch? I think it's amazing.
Crazy. That's crazy. I could see it getting to the point where they get like they outfit like semi trailers, right? And then they'll drive into an isolated area, right? And they'll have like a drone delivery hub built within the trailer, right? And then all of a sudden they're just doing like remote deliveries, right? From just they'll set up like just certain areas where they'll just pull up, and then instead of driving door to door, they'll just deliver from that location.
Yeah, they call that the last mile. If it's rugged terrain, or if it's just not financially worth it to deliver that last mile, you're going to see a lot of these Amazon trucks or UPS trucks that are outfitted with something that will be capable of delivering a small package. We're going to see a lot more of that, especially here in Texas. I can't, emphasize how much drone delivery has been taken off. We just had a meeting with the city of Plano. They've been one of the few that pushed back. Their council members are trying to, monetize the airspace, put more restrictions, how they set up their facilities. But we've took them to a few nest sites where drone delivery is successfully being executed, and they were blown away. They were like, okay, well, now we see, it's different when you see it on, a computer presentation versus in real life.
Right.
And, a lot of the senior citizens are really like, we need this in our city. Why does, so far, Frisco, Little Elm, Louisville, there's about 5 cities that are successfully utilizing Wink in specific via Walmart to have their packages delivered. But it's spreading like wildfire. Neighboring cities is like, this is bullshit. I want this in my city. How come they have it? We don't have it. So you're going to see a lot more growth in the drone delivery space.
So if I was someone who knew nothing about drones and drone delivery, what would the elevator pitch be for drone deliveries?
Essentially, it's just a convenience factor, right? You don't want to drive, 10 minutes to go pick up toothpaste, for example, when you can just go to the app and have it delivered to your front porch for free, by the way. This is not, you're not paying an additional charge. And, you know, the convenience factor is one of the biggest selling points. Now, what we try to educate our legislators and municipalities is, you know, senior citizens have a very difficult time. A lot of them can't even drive, right? So they have to ask for a favor or DoorDash or whatever to try to get. And I'm not sure if you guys ever Uber Eats or DoorDash. Their delivery rates are just obnoxious. They're into gouging people. You pay $10 for a pizza, it's going to cost you $5 just to have it delivered, then another $5 for tip. I mean, sometimes the fees are more expensive than the product. So the convenience and the cost effectiveness, and on top of that, for a lot of our, you know, conservation friends, you know, it's green energy. It's essentially electric. So there's no emissions. It's just so much more efficient and effective than traditional transportation.
Right, and you're also taking cars off the road, right? So the roads are less congested, right? So, you know, obviously as it scales up, it's going to have more of an impact, right? Less cars on the road, the pollution, and then it's more efficient, right? So you get your products as basically within a few minutes.
Exactly. And these platforms are designed to be as safe as possible. So they're built out of styrofoam, really great sensors on them. And if something like this was to fall out of the sky and hit a car or even hit a person, there'd be minimum to no damage whatsoever. So I think Google is really leading the pack alongside Zipline. Zipline, unfortunately, had to go to Africa to prove their case and effectiveness, but our legislators are coming around to see the benefits on these technologies.
Yeah, I
Wow.
saw the whole zip line. They were doing the medical transport, right? They were sending from hospital to hospital. That was pretty cool.
That's really cool because they're pulling out the heartstrings and showing people how they're saving lives. And I think one of those YouTube stars or influencers, Mark, I forgot his last name, he posted a
Mark
video and that
Rober.
thing went, he posted that video and it just went viral. Everybody was like, oh, that's amazing. So Zipline announced a new drone platform. So basically a drone within a drone, a smaller drone in a larger drone that could deploy a line to deliver, you know, small packages. So it's getting innovative, and you're going to see newer and cooler tech in the drone delivery space.
So what about the industry outside of drones then? So currently, like you said, there's Uber Eats or DoorDash and all the other delivery platforms. They see success because they get various restaurants noticed. So a lot of people are on Uber Eats or on Uber, and they go on Uber Eats and they see a restaurant, so they purchase say pizza from there, right? So do you think that with Zipline and Google Wing, do you think that other restaurants are going to use it directly, or do you think Uber Eats and DoorDash are going to end up buying a bunch of drone stations, a lot of nests, and then servicing from there?
So I think Walmart was smart to see the writing on the wall. So you would have to partner with Walmart. I think they have some exclusivity agreement with Zipline and Wing to say, hey, listen, if we add more, let's say, contracts to this delivery program, you're going to have to utilize us. Walmart's going to be the middleman. So, you know, your burritos, your coffee, you're going to have to contact Walmart's team to have that service if you wanted it through Zipline or Wing. Now, I think Flytrex from Causey Aviation has partnered with a few coffee shops and a few other restaurants to provide that, you know, dedicated to that restaurant or product manufacturer. But eventually you will see smaller packages, you know, being delivered in the food space.
Wow. That's really exciting. So eventually, who knows, maybe I'll be able to order a slice of pizza and get it delivered to my house. It's crazy because for everyone listening, I'm like basically neighbors with Adrian. We live like 15 minutes away from each other, and well, my city still has no drone delivery. All the cities surrounding me does, but not me.
That means you got to move.
Yeah, buy a place in Louisville. Who knows?
No, it'll be out there soon. Just be patient. It's spreading. I'm telling you, it's spreading so much, and it's. Don't be surprised. A month or two from now, you have drone delivery in Carrollton or the Colony and those spaces. It's just
Do you
getting
think DJI is going to get into this space?
I think they already have, but it's not been accepted in the United States yet, right? So they have a drone delivery platform that they released several months ago, or maybe even a month ago, but it hasn't been adopted here in the United States yet, or hasn't been for sale here. So we'll see how that unfolds. But I'd love to be able to do drone delivery as a service provider.
What are the hours of operation? I'm assuming it's while the store is open, right? Or as soon as it gets dark, they shut down.
You know what? I'm not sure about night operations. I know they're definitely operating during the early morning. Once the sun is out. I'm not sure about nighttime or if they have to file for different waivers or authorizations. But during the daytime, they're delivering a ton of stuff.
Interesting. Super interesting. Huh. It's kind of like the DJI Dock is getting a lot more traction right now on the public safety space. I was just in Los Angeles last week and talking to a lot of our customers and end users there. And a lot of them are setting up DFR programs around the area, mostly with DJI docks. I believe currently in the Los Angeles area, Torrance PD has 2 docks. They're leading the charge with it. Beverly Hills PD just got a dock as well. And the next will be Hawthorne PD, and Port of Los Angeles as well is looking to start their own DFR program. So definitely a lot of automation and advancements in this type of technology we see in the landscape. And also, Irving PD in Texas, close to us, they're getting 4 DJI docks courtesy of Axon. So that'll be pretty interesting to see for sure.
It seems like the dock had a slow start, but like recently you see it. They're spinning up a lot of programs, not only DFR, but you see a lot of agencies getting the dock.
Yeah, it's I think it's the cool new thing now. Enough marketing's went into it. A lot of police departments are, getting it. So, chiefs talk, and they're all like, "Oh, you got a dock? That's pretty cool. I want a dock." And then they
You
task
have one, I want
some
one.
poor guy to run their entire DFR program. So hopefully not too many incidents as we see more and more of these docks up in the air. But we'll have to see. It's really exciting. This landscape's changing a lot over the past few years. It's been pretty stagnant for a while, but with this dock and all the traction's coming up, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I think you're going to see more utility companies, construction companies incorporate these docks, specifically, remote areas, oil and gas, electrical utility companies, and like I said, construction, to have one of those docks on site where not only the supervisor or the maintenance crew or the architect can really in real time inspect or monitor the progression of either construction site or, if you have any inclement weather for a utilities company, you can deploy that dock where it's ready to go on a moment's notice. So you're going to be noticing a lot. I know public safety has been the first to adapt that, but don't be surprised if you see a lot more utilities and construction firms. I just saw yesterday there's a car manufacturer in China that has a built-in dock into the vehicle, and I think it's BDI or something like that, but there's a great video on that has it's like an SUV, and the dock is built into the vehicle, and you look at your main display there and you can deploy the drone from your center console, and it stays charged and it'll deploy at a moment's notice. So docks are being integrated into vehicles, into utility, public safety, and it's just a great concept to utilize drones.
There it is.
There it is.
Right here. Look at that. That is cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it just
And it's
opens
all
up and
integrated.
wow.
It's all built, and that's like a Mavic 3 or something.
Yeah,
It's
it is
got
the 3.
induction charging. Wow. So they built their own custom box, or maybe DJI built
Yeah,
a modified dock for them.
and it's right on top. It goes right on top of the roof, right?
I wonder what the use case for this is.
That kind of looks like a Land Rover Discovery, right? Or very
Yeah,
similar.
seems so.
Perfect use case for that is if you're stuck in traffic, you want to know what the hell is going on
yeah.
and what your options are. You can deploy that guy and just say, well, I might as well turn around because I don't see this accident being cleared anytime soon.
I would use that every day on my commute home, just to see what's going on up ahead.
See which lane's the fastest and go in that lane.
No, Adrian, even for the stuff that you do, imagine pulling up to a site. You don't even have to get out of the car. Oh, you want me to do, what do you want me to do? Oh, no problem. I'll do it from in here.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a great use case. But, we're always the last to adopt stuff like that because too many regulations.
Can't fly drones out of cars. Nuts. What about motorcycles?
You'll be able to fly drones out of the cars. As long as the drones are made in the United States, you'll be able to fly them out of the car. That's where we're
Of course.
headed.
The regulatory expert, Luis Figueredo. What kind of regulatory updates you got?
No, I'm not. We should. Adrian probably has more than I do. With all the new legislation and everything that's been passed. I know AUVSI has done a lot of stuff on Capitol Hill, right? So yeah, you're privy more to more of that information than I am.
Yeah, unfortunately, the writing's on the wall. And if you guys are surprised about this, I'm shocked. But I mean, this has been going on since 2018 with the ADSA, American Drone Safety Act or Security Act, something of that nature. And full transparency, I do not work for AUVSI. I volunteer just from the drone service provider perspective to kind of steer them on what's the best decisions for people that do the work that I do. I utilize drones to make a living. So, and a lot of people are thinking that this is an AUVSI initiative. AUVSI has been trying to educate legislators on what's the best way to move forward, right? I know a lot of the public safety, specifically in Florida, they had a bad situation happening where they try to outlaw any Chinese drones. So AUVSI tried to approach them and say, well, that's going to really handicap these public safety, programs that have successfully saved lives utilizing these drones. There has to be some sort of options, whether they either buy back the drones or there's a 5-year plan. You can't just, cancel all these drones all of a sudden. There has to be some sort of plan. Now, unfortunately, our legislators, they don't know any better, so we have to educate them on why this is a bad idea. But those that are expressing surprise and outrage, you guys have been asleep in the cockpit. I mean, you saw similar initiatives emerge as far back as 2019 with the American Security Drone Act, and the writing's been on the wall, flashing like a bright red warning light, So these legislations that are trying to combat the proliferation of Chinese technology is, one of the few areas that is garnering bipartisan consensus on Capitol Hill. Even though we're so divided, that's the one common denominator. They want to ban Chinese drones, Chinese technologies. They're not allowing them to receive specific chips. So there's a lot of elements of this that's, kind of hint at protectionism, right? They're trying to protect American companies and give them an advantage versus the Chinese company. But it's really hurting our public safety agencies. And we have to find a way to get there because we're not ready. If we have to rely on Blue UAS, we're not ready. Okay, Skydio released the X10, which is a solid platform. Finally, we have something that's feasible or comparable to their Chinese counterparts. However, the pain points in converting from Chinese to blue UAS, the cost is
The
typically
cost,
much
right? That's
higher. The
much more. And then,
hardware
yeah, the
is
add-ons, right?
terrible.
The subscriptions, all that stuff, right?
The flight controls are terrible, and just the user interface, it's so difficult to navigate some of these UI programs. So switching to the new unfamiliar systems is going to present all types of challenges. For those of you that either use Windows or Mac, you can see what kind of nightmare that could be. So it's really up to us as an industry to kind of engage your Congress people, your legislators, and explain to them, okay, we get it. All right, we want to ban everything Chinese, but here's a better way to do it. There has to be a time frame where, okay, let's wait 5 years before we pull the trigger on banning everything Chinese. Otherwise, you're going to affect lives from being saved, people from feeding their family, etc. So there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes with legislators and guys like me, granted volunteering from AUVSI, and people like Vic Moss from the Drone Service Providers Alliance, NG, etc. There's a lot of folks that are going to Washington, D.C., going to our state capitals, and just explaining to the legislators why this is a bad idea and they need to take their time before they make these crucial decisions.
Yeah, but I think even with that, with engaging the legislators, right, and trying to do all that stuff, I think at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to the lobbyists, right? Lobbying is going to be, it's what's making this move forward, right? And it's hard to fight that, even if, we organize and we get together and, we show them the use case videos. We, show them how important it is, how cost effective, right? It's a life-saving technology. Pretty much any department can afford it, right? If you go entry level, let's say even with a Mavic 3. But you can do all that until you're blue in the face, and then here comes the lobbyists, and everything that you've worked for is gone, right? How come nobody cares about? Let's look at how secure the platforms are, right? There's nobody doing anything like that, right? It's easy to say, let's ban it because they're not secure, right? And then explain, or even sit there and do a deep dive into the tech and see, where is it vulnerable? Why can't you be used? Why can't you use Chinese drones? But nobody's doing any of that. It sucks because, at least from my standpoint with public safety, you have these agencies that are not allowed to buy it, right? So then they're kind of forced to, hey, there's grant money if we buy U.S. drones, right? And then, it's like this revolving door, right? They're pushing for the legislation, right? They get it. And then at the same time, they're getting access to this grant money that then in return, these departments are buying their equipment. So it's a win-win for them.
Yeah, but I think you hit the nail on the head. The world revolves around lobbying, right? Look at all these major groups, whether it's oil and gas, firearms. And I think this was a missed opportunity by DJI and Autel. I've even approached them. I was like, hey, I'll lobby for you guys. I'll get some lawyers and we'll go state to state. But, they didn't feel that this was something that they need to take on head on. They had the global market. If they were going to lose a small share of that market, they felt that, that fight didn't need to happen. And here we are, 2024, where you can see Skydio, Brink, and a few other drone manufacturers are proving their weight in gold because they invested in that lobbying money and they're gaining traction. So you're absolutely right. It's all about lobbying, specifically in the United States. You'd be surprised on what type of initiatives you can push forward if you have enough lobbying money. But without support, it's an uphill battle, especially for small drone service providers like ourselves.
Yeah, DJI definitely fell asleep behind the wheel with the lobby initiative. I think they're hopefully they're getting to the party a little late, but they can still make a difference. But yeah, they definitely dropped the ball with that. They probably thought they were right and everybody else was wrong. And look at the situation now, right?
Don't you think DJI lobbies as well? Like, I think once you get big enough, you're going to be lobbying. Everyone's going to be lobbying. You don't think Zipline's lobbying or Zipline's lobbying through,
but with their influence,
Walmart or Wing?
No, Bobby, with their influence and the money that they had, they could have once they heard the rumors of certain companies doing all this lobbying and wasting money on it, they should have joined. They should have done the same thing. And maybe now they are, but it's kind of like it might be a little too late. I don't think they're gonna be able to reverse, especially like the ban on the federal agencies buying Chinese drones. That's done. They're never gonna win that battle again, right? I think the only thing they can do now is save the municipalities, the state agencies, going from state and hoping that the legislators don't change, those laws. But I think they might have been there might be a little too late.
Yeah. I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? Like if you were running a drone company and things were going well, you were making cool consumer drones, and turns out there's an enterprise use for it, and you're building that. Getting lobbied out of the market is like the last thing on your mind. I mean, it's unless they had ears everywhere and were actually listening through their drones and listening to what companies like Skydio are doing, it's going to be tough for them to figure that out.
No, listen, it's listening to your customers. That's it.
Not only that, but if they could have started some sort of grassroots effort like some other, and look at Sony, for example. Sony's an amazing company. What they do, they engage their consumers by creating ambassadors. They create programs for the users of their product, and they've created a unified voice in the industry for, let's say, for cameras, right? So if DJI would have taken the same approach and started to create that community and engage the community to where the point where the community would stand up for DJI, I think we'd be in a better place. But you're right, lobbying and it's becoming a tit for tat. So now China is banning Apple phones and doing their version of what we're doing here. And the results are going to be terrible for the community and for the industry. Nobody really benefits from banning things unless it's obvious, something really detrimental to your health. But it's only getting worse. So we got to mobilize the community and stand up for what we think is the best path forward.
I think it's them, proving to us why we can't use DJI, right? If we can't use it because it's not secure and, the data leaks or whatever they're claiming, just show us the proof. That's it, right? Nobody's asking for that. Yeah. The legislators are saying, fine, we'll change the law. You can't buy Chinese drones, but there's no proof to back it, right? And I think that's what makes it, aggravating, right? For the end user is that, you're being told you can't use it because, I hear it all the time. We can't buy Chinese drones because they steal our data. It just happened to me. It just happened to me on Friday. I was where was I? Some Port Authority training, and we can't get DJI drones because they steal our data. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, they take, when you're flying the drone, they're taking the videos and all your data. And I'm like, do you know how big DJI is? How many drones are flying throughout the world? Do you think they're capable of, saying, hey, look, we're flying a drone right here in New Jersey, and let's go take their video to see what they're doing. But that's how these people are brainwashed. They actually think that it's happening, right? And then you have those departments that are like, I hear all these rumors, so we're going to stop buying, DJI. I think somebody just made a comment about that in the comments, right, Bobby? Like, we're scared, and so, now we're not going to buy any more DJI products. Why? Are you being told you can't? Because that's different. If you're being told that, hey, there's no more funding, you can't buy any more Chinese drones. I understand that. But now, if you're hearing all these rumors, and you think you're being proactive by, reaching that conclusion yourself and saying, hey, I'm, hold back and I'm not going to buy any more Chinese drones. I think that's the issue is, not only do we have these people that are not allowed to buy the products, but then we have those that are making the decision for themselves that they shouldn't be buying them. And I think that's hurting us in the long run to even prove our case that, that we should be using this equipment.
Yeah, rumors are dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's starting to trickle down. It's starting to trickle down to drone service providers that are serving, utility companies, oil and gas. They're concerned as well now because they hear this in the news, and now they're requesting blue UAS, green UAS, whatever it may be. So this is really hurting the industry in general, but it all has to do with education and explaining to folks. DJI has protocols in place to secure your data. They had, let's create a standardized system for all those concerns. What's your concern? Stealing data? Well, this is the protocol to prevent that. And there's been third parties that have tried to hack DJI, platforms, etc. None of them has been successful to my knowledge. So it all has to do with education, and we as a drone community need to educate these folks that are making laws that are shutting down businesses, shutting down public safety drone programs. And we just got to do a better job, and I would implore everyone to be involved with organizations like DSPA, like AUVSI, like whoever you think, is going to promote your cause. But that's where it happens. You have to have lobbying groups. You have to be part of these organizations to make that change. Otherwise, one person alone will never do it.
Yeah, you don't think that's going to be the next shift, right? As soon as they're done lobbying with public safety, and they're like, all right, we're good with them. We started the shift already. Aren't they going to go into the public sector, into the private sector, right? Into like utilities, right? Aren't they going to be like, well, we have drones flying around these power plants, right? And they're Chinese drones, and now it's a vulnerable site. So that's going to be the next shift in lobbying. They're going to go after that, right? They're done with public safety. Now they're going to just shift over to them.
It's already happening. Some of these sites are considered critical infrastructure, some of these utility sites. So they're saying, well, because it's critical infrastructure, it's already happening. And some of these plant managers and supervisors, or the people that are contracting us for the service.
Right. They do it already.
They hear this. They hear this on the news, and they're like, well, we don't want that Chinese drone. I'm trying to explain to them there's no other sense to give you the data sets that you're requiring.
It's all hearsay, right? It's all hearsay. That's all it is.
It's the darkest timeline. Ultimately, in the future, Skydio wins. All Chinese drones are banned, and everyone's flying Skydios.
Skydio is never going to win. I hope.
Just the darkest timeline. That's all it is.
Bobby, you're the moderator. We got any comments, dude? You're supposed to be moderating this, aren't you?
Let's see. Yes. Push to ban DJI is causing many setbacks and could be putting lives into danger. Yeah. Absolutely agreed, Michael. Absolutely agreed. Certain agencies just can't afford, DJI, non-DJI drones, and that'll just be the end of that. I mean, some agencies can't afford the lowest Skybrowse premium tier at $3,000. So I don't know how they're going to spend, 5 times, 6 times that much for Skydio.
Well, he also had said that they've held back from buying any more DJI platforms. Why is that? I don't think he's answered, right?
Not yet. No. But yeah, it's definitely affecting agencies around us, even local agencies where the ban isn't, in effect. For most states, that is.
Well, there's some departments in Texas, right? Got Tennessee, Florida, and then there's some departments in Texas.
Which departments in Texas? Personally, I don't know any in Texas that just don't buy DJI.
Well, it's not about now that the law is in effect, it's the procurement, right? So if you already have DJI, now you need DJI accessories, let's say batteries, props, etc. Now you're running up against a brick wall because that funding isn't there like it used to be. So there's a chain reaction to these new legislations that are being introduced, and it's just really misguided and counterproductive, specifically for public safety. But I mean, even for drone service operators that are operating for inspections, mapping, aggressions, you name it, and it's not getting any better.
Wow.
Yeah, at some point you're gonna have Skydios, right? You're gonna have to have some parents, right? Because you don't know when that contract comes in, if you're gonna be allowed to fly DJI products at the site.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a phone call at least twice a week on people that are working on gigs, and they're like, okay, so what are my options? And there's not very many, especially at that price point. So they're turning down jobs, or they're buying these new drones that they're having so many issues with, whether it's with the remotes, the user interface, the sensors. They're just not able to complete these jobs and get those contracts. So there's got to be some more clarification. I think if we create that standardization of protocols, cybersecurity protocols, or whatever, the biggest issue is with federal agencies, we need to resolve that first. And the only way you do it in this country is through lobbying. You guys gotta put your money where your mouth is. Whether we partner with either DJI, Autel, whoever it may be that will support these initiatives. Otherwise, it's only going to get worse.
It's a matter of a rumor.
I've been saying it.
Michael said that his department heard that Florida's agencies were banned from using DJI drones, and as a result of that, as a small agency, they were also afraid to continue buying DJI drones if they have to throw them away because they wouldn't be able to afford the other drones. So
I'm curious to find out what state
DeSoto's
he's in
Texas.
If he's referencing Florida,
DeSoto's in Texas. Yeah,
he's in Texas.
So it's like a scare almost from Florida. Is like the rumor is like a scare for
it is.
agencies across the world.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't stop from buying it unless I'm one of those departments that can. I'm not going to go based off of, I think Florida just took it to an extreme, right? Mainly because of their governor, right? And good thing he backed out of the race because then I think we would have been screwed throughout the whole country and we would have been a huge ban on DJI. But yeah, I think that was the issue is that, like Adrian was saying, they took it to an extreme. Not only were you not able to buy it, but you weren't able to use it. So you had, but then you still had some departments in Florida that basically said, screw you. And they kept flying their DJI products and nothing happened, right?
Exactly. There was no enforcement, and there's agencies in Texas that I know of, and they're like, well, come and take it. I want to see you come and take my DJI drone. I mean, there's a lot of pushback from public safety and even from service providers. So it's going to get ugly and nasty real fast. But if you have nobody to enforce these rules, the rules just, have no teeth to them. There's no enforcement. And we already see that with the FAA. You see people egregiously flying in stadiums, in prisons, and who's enforcing this? I mean, there's minimal enforcement. Hopefully, come March when remote ID comes into play, we should see some more enforcement. However, I really don't think there's enough bandwidth at the FAA. They're underfunded, understaffed, and even law enforcement, they don't want to go after some 15-year-old kid flying his drone where he's not supposed to. So it's a shit show, to be honest.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past so much, Adrian, about the enforcement. I think, and I still, till this day, I think that the whole, the FAA and drones, it's something that got thrown on their lap, and it's like, here, you guys are in charge of this now, right? Because the drones are in the airspace, and I think the FAA has been trying to play catch up ever since. And just with regulations, now they're being told they have to enforce,
Yeah, we only have one LEAP agent, right? That's the person you're supposed to contact. I think we have one LEAP agent in the Southwest. And if you can get in touch with them and file a case, fine. But how is one person going to cover, a big state like Texas? Or it's just they don't have the capacity to enforce. And like I said, law enforcement doesn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole unless it's critical infrastructure or something, high security risks. But besides that,
the only way to do to have effective enforcement is to have the municipalities come up with local ordinances, right? That's the only way to do anything about it, right? Where now you see someone flying the drone where they're not supposed to be flying, right? Or they're drinking, whatever the case is, right? There should be local ordinances now that you can act on it, right? Where you can take the drone, you can seize the drone, you can give a ticket, whatever, because the FAA is not going to be the ones doing that, right? If it's something extreme, yeah, probably, right? But I think it needs to, there's got to be either local laws, state laws that need to pass, where now it gives, the local police the authority to go out there and do something, right? Here in Jersey, it's a mess, right?
Yeah, we don't want any more laws. There shouldn't be any local laws, municipalities. They should be solely on the FAA. They preemptively monitor and control the airspace. Now, if you're on a public road, I don't see why there should be a reason to limit or prohibit drone use. So there's plenty of laws on the books as it is to protect you, not only from drones, but from everything in general. But the last thing we need is more municipalities and cities and ordinances, because it's just going to cause a clusterfuck for the guys that are making a living utilizing drones. So the FAA either needs to create a new division specific for drones and stop lumping us as advanced aviation. Right, now drones are advanced aviation, so we're part of drone taxis and flying cars. We need a specific branch for uncrewed systems, and have some more manpower, more resources. But unless the Reauthorization Act of the FAA gets passed, I don't see any of that happening. Now, come mid-March, when remote ID is fully implemented and there's no more excuses on why you're not compliant, you're going to see a lot more people have access to your information. So this is going to open up a new can of worms with remote ID, because now I know who's flying the drone, is illegal, and now I can call the cops and say, hey, somebody's flying their drone in my backyard. Now, will the police respond? We don't know yet. We don't know how many calls they're going to get. But I think remote ID is kind of a way to start, protecting the airspace, if you will.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with that.
It's trickle effect in the public safety space, agency stock, and I know a lot of people that started their drone programs because their buddies, started drone programs and, copy and pasted waivers and were able to successfully start up a drone program as a result of that. But also that means that if agencies do talk about, say, the Chinese drone ban, then that's going to spread like wildfire everywhere. So it won't just be, segmented to a specific region. People go to training at different states, go to conferences and whatnot, and those rumors are going to spread, and it's going to affect everybody as a whole.
No, the rumors are hurting everybody as bad as the legislation is, right? I think it's the same, if not worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't use Skybrows because they only work on Chinese drones. Exactly, but if Skydio decided to start that rumor, you'd be screwed, Bobby.
I'm as American as it gets. Let's see. Michael says that they actually listen to. So DeSoto is south of Dallas. They followed Chula Vista's DFR program, and before Michael retired, he was setting up the DFR program for his agency. So I think it's just years of Chula Vista success finally trickling over to the East Coast. All the innovation comes from the West and it goes to the East. That's why we have so many customers in California. They all see the innovation in Skybrows.
I'll hold back my comments.
Hey, Bobby, can you amp up your volume a little bit? I can barely hear you. I'm not sure. Maybe that's just me, but crank your volume up a little bit. You're right about a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of fear mongering in the industry, and it's really going to get worse, folks. So either we unify or create some sort of boots on the ground, grassroots initiative where we kind of take it to your state representatives, congresspeople, specifically if you have a drone business or you work in public safety utilizing drones, you guys are going to have to mobilize, because this is not going to get any better. Based on what's going on right now in DC, even at the state level, this is going to get a lot worse. And once remote ID is fully implemented, I can really assure you that there's going to be a lot of companies, a lot of public safety entities that are closing up shop. So mobilize, try to educate the folks that are making these decisions or laws, because it's not getting any better.
Shout out to Doko. Shout out to Adrian Doko. Shout out to everyone else in the chat. Brandon, Niho, Michael. Shout out to y'all as well. Rich.
Yeah, Brandon Carr is one of those
Oh, different
superstars
Brandon.
that have been really
Different Brandon.
accelerating
Brandon Vaccaro.
Okay, different Brandon.
Nope, no shout out for Brandon Carr. He's not in the chat.
Even Brandon Vaccaro, he's doing some big things. Brandon is out on the West Coast helping and teaching different public safety, and he's doing phenomenal work in the space. So shout out to Brandon
Yeah,
Vaccaro.
great guy. All right.
What events are you guys going to be at this year? Anyone going to anything cool this year? Or?
I have nothing planned as of now. Bobby,
Okay.
I think is busy coding or something,
Marketing,
right, Bobby?
Coding, something. Hey, this interior thing's gonna be pretty kick-ass. Soon.
What about
They'll be ready.
What about you, Adrian? Any stops in the next few months?
Yeah, so I'm getting ready. We are hosting an event in San Diego. It's going to be called Autonomy, and I'll share that link with you guys later on. But essentially, we're throwing a big old Texas-sized party in San Diego, right there, at Pacific Ocean. We got country music star Houston Bernard is going to be performing. We'll be right next to an aircraft carrier, and we're going to be flying a lot of Chinese drones because I got authorizations and waivers, and those people are going to lose their mind. But I got permits for the park there, Rocco Park, April 24th. It's a Wednesday from 6 p.m. till who knows when, but we're going to have live music. We'll have a great crowd. And you know how I'd like to throw parties. It's going to be a blast. So I'll share the Eventbrite link soon, and hope to see you guys. It'll be part of Exponential. AUVSI's Exponential will be in San Diego this year. Probably the biggest drone / uncrewed system conference in the world. But San Diego is a beautiful place, and I'm looking forward to hanging out and seeing a lot of familiar faces. Now, also down here in Texas, we have the Energy Drone and Robotics Coalition that I found to be extremely valuable, not only for public safety, but for those that are utilizing drones in utilities, inspections, analysis, etc., mapping, progressions. It's not as big as a conference as Exponential is, but you get to meet CEOs from Duke Energy, Exxon, all these huge conglomerates in the industries, and learn how they're using drones to efficiently, raise their bottom line. So definitely look out to the Energy Drone and Robotics Coalition. And I hope to see you at Exponential April 21st to the 25th. So look out for that.
Wow, exciting.
Coming up soon.
Exciting. From the man himself, Mr. AUVSI, Adrian Doko, the extraordinaire. Anything else you want to say, Louis? Any shout outs before we conclude?
No, listen, I hope to be there, Adrian. Sounds like a good party. Maybe I'll convince Bobby to come out.
You make it seem like I'm a hermit.
Bobby doesn't do conferences anymore.
No. Well, he was doing too many, and then I kind of talked him out of it, and I told him you need to go to only the important ones, right? But yeah, maybe this is one for you to make a reappearance, right, Bobby?
We'll see.
Bobby, we need to get Skybrows in the Department of Defense. Let's get you some military contracts. Come to Exponential. I'll make some introductions and get you in the DoD space.
Maybe we'll get lucky this time around. It's just been bad luck nonstop. But I'll conclude on that. Shout out to Skybrows for. This is not sponsored by Skybrows. This is just a passion project I like doing. So, but shout out to Skybrows because I am affiliated with Skybrows. And to everyone else, thanks.
Huge shout out to Skybrows.
Attending. Thanks for viewing. We'll catch you on the next episode. Mondays, sometimes, at 6 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 p.m.
Maybe
whenever
6 p.m.
whenever we go live.
We got
it's all impromptu. All right.
Hey, keep it going, Bobby. You're doing a great job, brother. Keep up the great work, and let's get the community together, have these discussions, and find a better path forward. It's great that you've created this outlet for us to kind of educate folks and just get together. So keep up the great work, and looking forward to your next.
Thanks. Appreciate the kind words. At least someone's nice to me. Bye, everyone.